Hey, this is Chris from Plotly, and I want to showcase a couple of new features in Plotly Studio. Plotly Studio is our AI native application for generating pretty amazing interactive data visualization and analytics code that is backed by Python and Plotly's graphing libraries and our Dash library. The feature I want to show today that is updated is our new specification format. So the specification itself is auto-generated, and it's a description that is auto-generated from the code in a really nice format. It serves two purposes. The first purpose is it's meant to document what the code is doing in natural language in a very declarative, easy to read, but comprehensive way, so that you can see exactly how the data is aggregated or what filters are being applied. As well as the different labels or styles that are being used. This has two purposes. You can verify that the work that's being done by the code is as you expect, but you can also take some of these pieces of the specification and bring it into the prompt that you wrote above, copy and paste it in, and then if you want to change this behavior, so maybe change the chart title to just say service requests, and maybe remove some of this other pieces in the description, you can just do so really easily by basing it off of what is already implemented within the application. And then over time, the prompt that you write becomes more and more detailed, and it'll contain all of the details that you care about. When you provide this prompt to Plotly Studio is going to generate the code, and it will fill in certain details that you might not specify. So if your original prompt doesn't include the titles of your chart, then Plotly Studio will come up with titles for you. And the specification is meant to bridge the gap between what it is that you wrote in your prompt and what it is that the AI actually generated, and describe that to you, show it to you so you can verify it, but also so that you can copy and paste the details from the specification back into the prompt, and over time harden and elaborate exactly what you want to create. The specification format is different for the different components. So for the data module where we're loading the data, it'll look like this. It'll have different sections that describe what it's being done. So we're loading the data, and then we're handling data types, and then converting dates, and then computing additional columns. And this will be different for each of the data sets or applications that you create. In the layout section, this is describing the overall application layout, so the page title, description, the different charts that are included here. The theme itself contains all of the details of the actual colors and the fonts that are being used, so that you can take any of these and modify them if you want to. The data cards themselves, which are these high-level metrics, has a different section for each card that describes the value, the format, the label. So you can take these, you can remove them. And if you notice, our high-level data cards prompt is pretty not very detailed. It just says create some data cards for you. So the AI, Plotly Studio, came up with a set of default data cards for you, and you can see what it came up with here. Take them and copy them and paste them into the prompt, and now every time you regenerate this, you'll get the exact same data cards back. So it's a way to go also from having prompts that are pretty high level to much more detailed prompts. So for example, if I'm looking at some of these charts, like this tree map, this is a relatively detailed prompt here, but I might create an application here that just says, or a chart here that just says, show me complaints day over day in enrichment. You'll notice that in this prompt itself, I'm not including any details about what I want the chart labels to be, or the colors, or the data aggregation. I have a very high-level description of what I want to see. I'm not even specifying the chart type. And Plotly Studio is going to fill in the defaults for me in the code that it generates, and then I'll see what those details are in the specification that I can verify, modify, and even maybe copy and paste back into my prompt so that my prompt is more and more detailed. So here's what it came up with. This looks pretty good to me. There's a couple of different metrics here. I can go into the specification and see exactly what was being done to create this application. and I can copy and paste this whole thing in here. Now I have a much more detailed version of my of the chart that I'm creating, and here I can change some of these details. Like I might change it from a line chart to a bar chart, but otherwise this chart, when I recreate it, regenerate, or if I want to share this to somebody else, it's going to come back exactly the same, which is really nice because this spec and this prompt now contain a lot of detail for you. Anyway, so that's our new prompt format. Really excited about this. And I think it solves a lot of issues that you see in a lot of AI systems where you prompt stuff and a lot of details are handled in between. You don't really know what those details are. And the whole idea of vibe coding is that you're working with code that you don't even really look at. And that can be kind of scary, right? Because you actually, when we work with data, we really want to see exactly the details that are being done and make sure that there's no assumptions that are being taken, and verify that the way we're filtering things is correct. And sometimes we just want to change things really simply, like we just want to change the title here. And it can be a little annoying or a little unclear sometimes of knowing how to make that change. Specification is meant to make that a lot easier. So you can go down here and see this label section, copy it, bring it into the prompt, and then change just one line. So pretty excited about this. And this is coming out in hopefully next week's Poly Studio release. So stay tuned and upgrade and let us know what you think. Thanks.